back on Morning Line. It's our final segment with our guests talking about the transportation plan, Metro's transportation solution called Let's Move Nashville. Felix Castrodad's with us. He's with MTA, and of course Walter Searcy with us, and he's here as a representative from the Metro Transit Authority Board, and a member of that, of course. Everyone knows Walter. It's nice to have you on, sir. It's a pleasure. And the lines are open if you want to join in the conversation. You know, I've thought, and I've been lucky enough to live here for more than 2 decades, and before here, I came here from Los Angeles. I know what it's like when you don't have good transit. But this city, to me, is a world-class city in so many ways, and I've always felt it's just lacking one thing as time has passed. And some people may disagree. What do you mean? There's something wrong? Yeah, we're lacking mass transit that really, you bring that, and this will just be top of the heap. That's really, would you agree to any, do you disagree? I'm not saying we're not world class, it is, but with that one gap, you're a notch below. You've got to have mass transit.
Well, certainly mass transit may not make us world class.
Well, everything else is in place.
We'll never be world class without it.
Okay,
you know?
Okay, because
when you think about what the migratory patterns here, we are gaining, by some measures, about 80 people a day. Other people say as many as 100 a day. Over another 20, 25-year period, the population in this basin is going to double. If we maintain the same level of transit infrastructure that we currently have, we're going to be one big mess. You know, one big mess. And the very things that are attracting people here and attracting the energy and the synergies and all of the prosperity that people are witnessing, that makes it the quote it city unquote, will become that city,
right?
Not the it city.
That's exactly what I think. I mean, by the way, I was just thinking about this. Was there any consideration, anything given to driverless cars? You know, that's this new technology. Is there any part that could play in any of this? I don't know how.
It's still a car.
Yeah, right.
And you know,
still have to
it's driven by whomever it's driven, or not.
Right.
It's still a car. You know, and that is another space on the road. They're coming, and they're going to be an option in the mix. But you can't, just as mass transit won't be a cure-all, certainly autonomous vehicles ain't a cure-all.
Yeah, no, I got you. All right, and as far as a green component to this, is the light rail electric?
Oh, yeah.
It is. Okay, I figured it was. I know the one that I've read in Portland, Oregon.
And the plan anticipates all MTA fleet of buses becoming electric buses.
And how will they be running electric? Is it going to be electric engines? Will there be a wire connected to with electric lines? Or
they run with batteries, and they're going to be charging stations. We have already some all-electric buses.
On the buses.
On the buses, we already have some electric buses that we operate. Those green buses that operate on the Music City Circuit. Those are all electric, and that technology is getting better and better. And the range of those buses is getting greater and greater. So certainly, by the time we do that, those are going to be very implementable solutions when it comes to electric.
Have you ridden one of the electric buses?
I've not been on one of these. I've seen them. I've not ridden them.
They're very quiet.
They hum, right?
Very quiet, and a lot of oomph.
Okay, so they got some pickup.
Yeah.
That's where you're saying the technology. I've been in electric cars, and the older ones, first ones, took a while to get going. You know, but now the light rail. Then now, how will that be? Electrified rail, or will it be lines up top, or do we know kind of how that might work?
Probably be some catenary, with electric wires, and those details will be as this passes as the projects start being designed. Those details will become more available, and there will be plenty of opportunities for the community to provide specific feedback when those meetings will take place.
Yeah, and that's when you guys start putting out bids for the companies to start building these things if it really works. So you think it's very important that this gets on the ballot quick. So talk about that again. So you guys are in talks, and I'm sure the mayor, with the council. It's up to the council to decide when to place it.
It's up to the council to put it on the ballot. We don't see any reason why council persons, whether they were for or against, would resist putting it on the ballot. but nevertheless, it has to be on the ballot and then voted upon by the electorate as required by state legislation.
And it has to pass by a
majority.
Majority, okay. Yeah. And you'd like to see it on the ballot in May?
Yes, May 1.
And if that happens and it passes, then
we're off to the races.
That's where it gets started.
Yeah. Yes,
right off the bat. Is that then okay? Once that passes, does that mean these taxes take effect immediately at that point? Would it be July 1st?
July 1st.
But that's essentially what people will be voting for. Then will be the funding mechanism and whether they agree with that.
That's right.
And they'll be voting on the whole plan. As a matter of fact, there's a series of open houses that have been set up. The first one happening this Thursday.
Talk about that. I was going to ask. These are where you can go like this and talk with you guys, answer questions.
Yes, well, there's going to be several stations at those meetings, and people are going to be able to walk from station to station, talk to staff, and learn more about the details of
look at the
plans, look at the maps, and understand better. Okay. The first one is going to be actually this Thursday at 5:30 at the Farmers Market.
Farmers Market, 5:30 to 7:30. That's for the downtown corridor. Northwest corridor is going to be at TSU.
That's right.
Elliott Hall, that's on the following Thursday.
That's right.
I think. And then Charlotte Avenue corridor will be Thursday, November 9th. That's at the Lentz Public Health Center. Okay, so these are folks coming out and...
There's a website set up, letsmovenashville.com, and all this information is available on the website.
So go on there. And so these are quite, at this point, there was public comment before, and we've been talking about this transportation plan all along. How much really from the public went into this plan?
All of it.
All of it, basically. You guys basically heard what the public said they wanted.
The in-motion process was about 18 months.
Right.
You actually had more than 20,000 persons, citizens in Nashville engaged in that process from every neighborhood, from every nook and cranny of the community, and that's what that's what the mayor's pronouncement was predicated upon in the main. That with refinements that come with 18 months of study. And we'll have more refinements as this thing moves down the road. But it is a community-oriented effort.
And you think the 5.2 billion, pretty fair price tag? You think that's, people get used to thinking, oh, they always put a price tag on it, and it's always going to be a little more than that. But
well, if we can go at it quickly enough and meld in, the great thing about this mayor that I've come to appreciate as much as anything else about her, she's a hell of a business manager. And she can crunch numbers with the best of us. And she and her staff say 5.2 billion, I'm betting on them.
Yeah.
I think they can do it. They think they can do it in X number of years. I'm betting on that. And I think that we have as good a chance, if the economy overall stays stable, to bring it in at budget or beneath, and bring it in on time or in shorter.
Okay, and as you said, it's going to be phases as we go, right? But on time would mean the whole kit and caboodle could be in place by 2026?
In Metro Nashville, yeah, 2027, 2026, yeah.
Okay, what were you going to say, Felix?
No, I was going to say that one thing is for sure, the more you wait, the more expensive it's going to get.
Exactly.
So definitely you want to move fast in these. But these numbers are looking at, general and how there's going to be challenges. Things are always going to be perfect. But I think the consultants working on this have a really good grasp. This is not something that Nashville, this is something new for Nashville, but it's not something that other cities have not gone through in the past. So many of the challenges that we're seeing here, we've looked at other cities and what they've gone through, and they've gone through the same, constrained spaces, how to manage the growth and the congestion, and they've been successful in implementing things like these.
I'm just curious, which cities maybe jump into your mind that maybe are the clearest?
Denver, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Austin.
All of those have done it, and which one did you look at and say, this most closely mirrors maybe what we're dealing with? Was there?
Oh, it's different aspects depending on what you're looking at, but they all have different. You can find examples of these in each of those cities.
One commonality. I'm glad. One commonality of all of them. They first got the citizens to say this is a dedicated revenue source for this process. Prior to that, nothing happens. That's what we're doing here. We're asking the citizens, give us this dedicated funding source, and we will build you a transit system that will be of the service that we all deserve and need.
It'll be a very high standard. And once it's built, and I know the dedicated source is crucial. Beyond that, then the revenues that come in by operating it, you know, say 15, 30 years from now, whatever, will that help? It won't sustain itself. Will it always, do you imagine, still need some supplement from the city, or do you think it could?
And the Fed.
And the Fed. Yeah, that's right. There's federal dollars involved too as well.
This assumes federal dollar participation. It's been conservative because some of those programs are very competitive, but it's assuming that, you know, we'll tap into federal government opportunities to build some of these.
Okay, okay. As we just wrap things up, how long have you lived here, Walter?
50 years this year.
50. Wow.
Yeah.
So, and so you know the city as well as anyone. How important is this in your 50 years, this undertaking?
Oh, this is you know, this is.
I mean, I'm trying to think what other milestones you may think about that were crucial in the city, and there's a lot of them. But in terms of infrastructure,
this remains. Oh, in terms of infrastructure projects, this is it.
This is it. The biggest in your 50 years, which makes sense. I mean, you think about, well, interstate systems and highways, roads, and things like that. But this is as big as it gets.
Sure, and it's big because of the prospective impact of it, not just what it does while it's being done, but the future that is predicated upon this advance is what makes it really big.
Yeah.
What's the kid on ESPN?
Which one?
Big.
Oh, yeah. Those guys. He's just saying this is a big.
This is a big hootenanny.
Yep. Well, you know, there's a lot of folks here that are going to be looking at that have lived here 50 years like you have that maybe have some doubts because they remember what it was like. But there's so many people that have moved here from other cities who have this transit. And they're saying, we love Nashville. Boy, but, you know, where we were coming from, we had this great system. Nashville needs to get that, right?
Yeah. Oh, we hear about people all the time saying, well, when I moved here, I thought I could sell my car and ride transit, but I can't do that.
Not yet.
So, you know, not yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the idea of is that if that happens. All right, so just so we know, what is next on the schedule that the public needs to be aware of? When will the council be making the vote on this?
Sometime in February.
Sometime in February is when they'll vote and decide whether or not to put it on the ballot in May.
It has to be, the statute requires 90 days prior to the actual vote by the citizenry.
And between now and then, you guys are going to be busy. You're going to, because I know
a little busy.
A little busy on that, but getting the program, to me, I just don't see it being a super hard sell. Maybe I'm wrong, and I know there's callers like some we had today questioning the monies, but you know, maybe you have quibble with the details, but anyone who doesn't think there needs to be transit here is living in a dream world. Or you're someone who just never leaves your house, and if you don't, then maybe you don't need it. But aside from that,
even if you don't need it, I mean, you may benefit from other people, you know, that riding it.
So they can come to you.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you have people in your family that would like to ride it, even if you don't want it. You know, think about your kids, your grandkids. You know, giving opportunities for them. Your older parents, or you know, people that may be more depending on that.
Just moving forward. Felix Castro, MTA, thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
I'm not going to be able to reach all the way over to shake your hand, Walter, but Walter Searcy, thank you both for coming on. This is a great conversation. I learned a lot from both of you today. Even though I've been covering it, but the details, I invite everyone to go to some of those, go to the website again.
Yeah. So letsmovenashville.com
to go to some of those open houses.
Yep.
Guys, thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having us.
We'll take a break and be back to wrap things up right after this.
Awesome.